Hello everybody and welcome to RPG Horror Stories. I'm your host Suyu, and I just want to say thank you for all the love and support. It really does help me. Every single sub it really makes me happy seeing you guys liking the videos, commenting it, and seeing that subscriber number goes up really feels good. So thank you everybody for everything that you're doing. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel, because at 100 subs, we're going to be reading the Old Man Henderson tale, because, well, we need somewhere to start off on within the Henderson scale, and I plan on reading stories that place on the Henderson scale above 1 at every milestone that I can. So, on with the video. The DM not only ghosts the party, but tries to drop the DMing role on his friends. This event happened about 2 years ago, so my memory is somewhat vague. In a tabletop withdrawal, I was browsing through r/looking for group until I came across a thread looking for more players for a Grim Hollow campaign. Having had my previous campaign of the same theme cancelled due to party having schedule conflicts, I took up on the offer and the DM. Well, never mind that. Red flag number 1. When I sent a message to the DM on Discord, the first thing he said to me was, "Are you a Jew?" I assumed that the guy was just being a meme, and I just told him I was here for the campaign and sent him a link to his thread. After I got an invite to the Discord, me and 3 others would have our session 0 and get introduced to the players who were already in the campaign. The DM's Discord was a friend group Discord with no involvement with D&D. This is important later. Session 1 will start 2 weeks from that day. Red flag number 2. Session 1 comes and the DM does not show up. As expected, the whole party was confused. He even appeared offline. We started asking one of the DM's friends what happened, but friend tells us they aren't sure. About a day or 2 later, the DM tells us that something had come up. We didn't run the session that day and said, "We'll try again next week." Red flag number 3. The day before the session, the Dungeon Master tells us that something came up again, but this time, one of his friends will be DMing, that we should get him for the script. Send a message to the guy, and unexpectedly he just goes off on me as if I insulted his mother or something. Tells me that he had no idea what the script is supposed to be and has nothing to do with the D&D. I spoke to the party about it, and the DM said the guy was just obsessed about finals and stuff. The events took place in June, and to message him again next week. Now, one of the older players was concerned because the Dungeon Master had no issues with running the campaign until now, and brought it up. The DM's response? "OP is now the DM. Please message Angry Friend for the script." After that, the party simply started leaving. Being the curious sort, I stayed around about a week longer to just see what else the DM has to say before leaving myself. I noticed that outside of the campaign chat, no one has made any posts in the Discord group. After all of that fiasco, I just went back to Reddit and reported the thread as false advertisement. What? What? I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding things from the DM side. I mean, OP's side is making sense. It's making perfect fucking sense. Too much fucking sense. What in the fuck is this DM doing? It seems like they were originally hosting a game with their friends, and then... what? The first thing they asked OP was, "Are you a Jew?" And that's really the only thing I have to go off of here. Is the DM in this case a neo-Nazi? I don't understand. Don't do this. Don't fucking ghost everyone and push DMing onto somebody else. And don't make a matchmaking group on the internet if you can't play with fucking anyone. The DM probably doesn't like that my character is a werewolf. So the story goes something like this. Our party was commissioned to hunt some wild beasts that appeared in the forest, and we're approaching Village A tonight and attacking animals. It turned out that there were werewolves in the forest. We managed to kill them, but one of them managed to bite my character. I failed the save, and now my character was infected with lycanthropy. Our DM told me that I can easily cure myself of it in one of the temples somewhere in the mountains. But in fact, it didn't bother me much. I considered it quite an interesting development of my hero. Also, not to talk too much about my character, he wouldn't have gotten rid of it himself. Besides, I thought it can add some interesting situations to the campaign, and looking at what happened later, I was not wrong. Because since then, from the moment when I decided that I didn't want my character to be rid of the course, we started to suffer bad luck. Every now and then, we came across a group of werewolf hunters, which we had never known before and had never heard of existing before. Now suddenly there was a whole fuck ton of them here. Each time these people somehow knew that my character was a werewolf. They were just appearing out of nowhere and attacking us by surprise and kept focusing their attacks on me. Even though my friends were stabbing them in the back with swords and axes, every now and then, someone somehow discovered my character is a werewolf. I'm talking about situations such as a hunter notices that my hero smells like fur, so he immediately knows that it is a werewolf and isn't attacking us. A traveler notices it in the eyes of my hero and becomes aggressive. An ordinary small shop has an artifact on the cabinet that detects lycanthropy, and it activates as soon as I cross the threshold at the store. The city guards have a dog that detects that I am a lycanthrope, and somehow alerts the guards about it, and I have to leave the city. And some random fucking wizard randomly uses some weird spell that detects that I am a werewolf. One moment. So, not to shit on someone else's fun, but this DM is being a dick. So here's what I'm gonna say. The only way that I know of personally to reliably detect lycanthropes is this. The Sentinel Minor property in the Dungeon Master's Guide on page 143. You can actually tune this to shape changers, and that can detect lycanthropes. That said, the likelihood of being able to cast quote-unquote Sentinel is next to impossible. Detect Magic doesn't detect lycanthropy because it is a disease. It's not actually magical in nature. You can't cast a Detect Creature because Detect Creature only detects that form. So if you were to search for werewolf or lycanthropes, it would only detect the shape-changed form of that creature. They don't normally show off, that much that throws out their lycanthrope, because that is a survival mechanism of lycanthropes to not be detected. They don't want to be detected so they can actually get what they need to get done, and not fucking die. Yeah, no, I don't know what this DM is on about. Don't do this. Don't do it. I said it. Don't fucking do it. Basically, most of these ended up with my character being kicked out of some place or just straight up starting a fight. Then the first full moon came, and the DM warned us now that my group will have to kill me. It will change and attack them, and they cannot leave me here for the night because I will track them down. So our wizard put me to sleep, and the DM wasn't happy. Also, from now on, almost every enemy we fought, even simple thugs, had silver weaponry. They never had it before, but they do now. In the last few sessions, the DM more and more, through the use of the story, pushes us towards the mountains where there accidentally is one of the temples where I can heal my character. Something tells me he's planning some shenanigans. Also, I was asking him, out of game, if there's any problem with my character being a werewolf, and he said, not really. OP, your dungeon master is a damn liar. There's no way that he's not retaliating against you directly for liking lycanthropy. There's no foreseeable way for everything to have the Sentinel Minor property, for everything to be able to somehow, some way, detect that you're a fucking werewolf, even though it's supposed to be damn near undetectable. That's the entire point of lycanthropy. Your DM's being a bitch. That's all I've got to say about him. Your DM's a bitch. I hope he fucking cries about it. Gets real fucking L mad. I mean, fuck's he gonna do about you being a werewolf? Mauled, seethe, cope? Get the fuck out of here. This next story is not safe for work. It comes with a trigger warning of nondescript mentions of rape. If you're cool with it, you can go ahead and move on. Otherwise, I would mention that you should probably click off of the video now. That said, we are moving on with the story, because this is likely to be important. Okay, so I've been sitting on this story for about a month, but after encouragement from some other professional DMs, here I am, learning lessons from the garbage pail of life so you don't have to. This happened approximately 2 months ago. I was in a Discord server for a local game store when someone reached out in the general chat to ask if there were any dungeon masters in the area that would like to run a game at a tattoo shop. Them's my people, I thought. This'll be fun, I thought. You fool. You ignorant fool. So I reach out, and after some back and forth discussion and a few links to games I've streamed for reference on my actual play channel, we agreed that it'll be a bi-weekly game for 5 people at the business after hours. There's 4 new players, but I honestly love teaching the game, so I saw it as a super fun opportunity, especially since I haven't played at an actual table since the onset of COVID. Red flag number 1. 2 weeks later, when they finally got around to adding me to the group chat with 11 other people, after voicing my inability to juggle that many people and some hemming and hawing, we agreed that we would limit it to 6 with some rotating bodies and planned a session 0. I requested that they let me know and what time worked best so that they wouldn't be busy tattooing, working, etc. So I don't want to interrupt their flow and also have them be able to provide the attention necessary for a first-time player to really hammer out what's going on. I arrive and there are 2 players who are still tattooing with others waiting to go. Of the initial 11, only 3 showed up. We ended up talking for about 10 minutes after I sat there doing nothing for 2 hours. A single player had made a character. Everyone else decided that they wanted to go to a bar or go home and split the agreements. We'd figure out the rest of her text. Believe it or not, it only got worse. The only player with experience texted in the group chat asking if he could play a ranger because I don't want to abide by no moral compass. Also, I want to be a cannibal. Weird, but okay. I informed the entire group. You can do what you want within reason, but keep in mind that this is a living world, and it will react to your actions as such. 2 hours later, the next text comes through. Okay, but what if I want to play a cannibal who only eats bad guys? Also, I want to rape them. I hit them with a disheartening, lol, no. But he doubles down that this is a legitimate idea, and the others start sounding off about how hilarious the campaign is going to be. I note the fuck out of there. Last week, I got a text from the initial person who organized this entire thing asking why I haven't answered in the group chat in the last 2 weeks. I informed him that after that exchange, I actually left the group, and they should try to find an alternate DM. He lets me know it's not a big deal, and they'll finish their characters this week. 6 weeks later, and he can find a time to play. Maybe go fuck yourself instead? Thus ends my pro DMing career. At least I have a story. Listen, Opie, you don't have to let this end your pro DMing career, as you so aptly put it. You are gonna come across those tattoo shop dudes. Listen, people who work in tattoo shops, they work around some really grisly people, so they have some really dark, sensitive humor. So don't let that drag you down, but I am giving you some kudos for having stood up for yourself. This is one of the best steps that you can make as a professional dungeon master. I sometimes have issues doing it myself. It's just a thing that you're going to have to deal with. You have to learn how to stand up for yourself, and you stood up for yourself here, OP. So I applaud you. However, don't let this be the end of your pro DMing career. If you like Dungeons and Dragons, if you love being a dungeon master, just fucking run with it. Find a new group. Find somewhere else that wants you to run sessions for them. You might even be able to find gainful employment as a dungeon master, and that is a beautiful thing. And I want to encourage you to move towards that, if at all possible. You might have some bad sessions, you might come across that guy, you're going to come across many that guys. But you're going to shut them all the fuck down. Go break a leg. I know you'll kill him. Alright, that's all I have for the video. Much love and stay sexy. I hope to see you guys later on Twitch. Bye-bye!